I talked about the Epstein files a couple days ago. If you weren't watching, for you to understand my sentiment, at least, is I didn't think that they were going to be released. One. And I didn't think they were going to be released because of multiple things. Number one, I think there are people on both sides that are involved, including high-level donors who are being protected both by Trump and the Democratic Party. And I say that because both the Democrats and the Republicans have had chances to release the files. Okay, Biden had them for 4 years. Epstein was actually convicted, or at least jailed under Trump, and he had the ability to release the files. And you know, let's give him a little grace and say, okay, well, you know, he did die in prison, or depending on what you believe. And they were doing an investigation that takes longer than 4 years. Fine, let's give him that grace. But right now he's in power, and a lot of the people that he elected ran on the simple facts of saying, hey, we're going to release the files on day one. Files are still not released. So that's why I blame both sides, and I think that both sides have an issue with releasing the files. Now, I have a couple videos here that I wanted to show, but first we're going to talk about Scott Jennings on the Abby Phillips show and the panel that she usually does on CNN. So let's go ahead and watch this video real quick.
I tell you, they may not have done something criminal. Just the fact that they are having email exchanges does not mean that they did something
like
criminal.
Larry Summers,
okay, but
or Stacey Plaskett.
Yes,
the fact that they're having exchanges
exactly.
with Epstein.
That may not be criminal. I do think it is wrong. And the reason I think it's wrong is because by the time that the emails that we are seeing in this trove that was released are from 2019 and 2018 and 2016. Mm-hmm. That is way after Epstein had served 13 months in that.
They're actually from 2013, and we're going to get into some of the emails, but it's just funny how she categorizes it as 2018, 2019, but I'll let her finish.
Sweetheart deal in Florida, after he had served 1 year under house arrest, after he had registered as a sex offender. And so these people, a lot of them who are folks that are admired by our society, famous, rich, powerful, in very elite circles in Palm Beach and in New York, were conversing with him and communicating with him and treating him. I mean, people like Deepak Chopra.
Does your concern apply to Stacey Plaskett?
It applies to that. Did you just hear me?
Did
you just hear me say
she should resign?
There you go again. There you go again. Trying to make this into a Democrat.
I think it's very.
She was being programmed by him after the moment you said we all knew.
It's very hypocritical for you to call out the names of only the Democrats, but not apply the very same logic to everyone.
What Republican was he programmed?
Listen, hold on. You're basically saying if you're named in these documents, I guess you're saying that they should be condemned. Anna's basically saying, yeah, let it all out. But you're the only one who's making a carve out for one person, and that's.
No, he's not saying that they should all be blamed if they're in the files, but he's pointing out the fact that up until this point, the consensus was Trump's in the files because these emails are talking about him, and that must mean he did it. He's bad. Now they're taking this they're backpedaling, saying, oh no, well, just because you're named in this doesn't mean that you did anything bad, even though the young lady before her did say, oh well, I think it's bad that you're in them. But a lot of the consensus beforehand was just that, oh, Trump's in the emails, yep, he did it, that's it. And so Scott is just using their same logic against them, which I think is not a bad point to use. But I also think that, you know, the Trump side of this, why Trump hasn't released the files, and definitely not to defend him, because I'm tired of having to say that, but it's just like, let's just have a little bit of common sense, guys. And that common sense being, if Trump was in those files and he did the things that people believe he did, would they not have dropped the files a long time ago? And I don't mean Trump, I'm talking about the Democrats. Would they not have been leaked already? Would we not know? I mean, we know other things that are not as bad. Even the fact that the emails that recently came out, the second week of November or whatever, when they came out, those emails, they were emails about people talking about Trump. It wasn't even like they were saying, and even one of the emails said, oh, he's never had a massage. Now, one thing I will say, the way that Jeffrey Epstein talked about Trump in these emails, one thing I am kind of convinced of is that they were definitely boys. Like, just imagine you have a friend and you guys are real good friends, and then y'all, you know, stop talking, break up, whatever word you want to use. Years later, you're still talking about your friend. What would cause you to do that if y'all were not super close, or at least extremely competitive? You know, I'm ready for these files to be dropped completely, you know. And one other thing I'll say before I play the next video, you have this bill that passed, what is it, 400 something to 1 in the House of Representatives. That to me just makes me think that they're not going to give us anything good. I'm sorry, call me a conspiracy theorist, whatever you want to call me. I just don't think that they are going to give us any good value in this. I really don't. I just don't. I don't see it happening, because of the things I named before, and specifically because the Democrats had this, the Republicans had this, and really it's only been a big thing as of the last couple weeks. And really the reason it's even been a big thing is because we, the people, have focused so much on it that they have no other choice. They can't just move on from this. It's become too big. This will be a stain on Donald Trump's presidency if he doesn't release the files. And even though I don't think they're going to release the full unfettered files.
Donald Trump.
There's no evidence that he had any contact with Epstein after he excommunicated him, but we do have evidence that he was programming Democrat members of Congress. Why isn't that a big deal to you guys?
I guess the point is we just don't know.
We do know that. We absolutely know he was programming Plaskett.
The money is the problem. Money in politics is the problem, ladies and gentlemen. So let's go to this next clip. This was same panel, just a little bit later, if I'm not mistaken, and they were talking about a different topic. But I just wanted to talk about this interaction real quick.
There's no indication of criminality. If that's true, he should be elated that we're putting these things out.
If that's true, it is true. Can you name any evidence?
I would like to see the evidence. What I'm saying is,
you think after 10 years of public life, you wouldn't know it already?
No, I don't. That's exactly the point.
Oh my goodness.
And that's a good point. So you think after 10 years of Trump being in the public eye, I mean, he's been in the public eye a lot longer, but after 10 years of basically being persecuted as hard as he's been, you think that if they didn't have some dirt on him, we wouldn't know by now? I mean, even I would be pressed to say, yeah, I think if he had done anything wrong, he'd be done. They subpoenaed him out the wazoo, and all they could find was some payments to a porn star, some hush-hush money, which, you know, some people call it bad, but it's like, all right, everybody does it. You make people sign NDAs, you pay them off. That shit happens at that level. It just does.
This is an IQ test. Don't fail it. Come on, man.
Scott,
10 years Donald Trump has been in public life. Come on.
Scott, it is an IQ test. I mean, for 10 years, we haven't heard any names. So you really think that no one's involved?
No, obviously. Larry Summers was involved.
No,
Plaskett was involved.
See, she's trying to twist it. He was talking about Trump. Not that no one's involved. We know plenty of people are involved, and we know they're at a high level because you refuse to release the information. So that should be a perfect example of what Scott's saying.
You're suggesting that if someone was...
Just real quick, I just want to bring it back to something that just happened. I feel like I just heard Scott call into question this black man's...
Oh boy, here comes the victimhood.
With the
Here it
IQ
comes.
Test. I feel like I heard that. And so I just want to say something. This is what it sounded like.
You want to make it racial? Go ahead, but it's ridiculous.
Well, I mean, I think that...
By the way, we know each other. We're friends. I know this man. He's a smart guy, and we're having a debate. We're having a debate. Don't make it into... We don't even know each other, but we do.
This actually relates back to the topic that we're having, Scott. There is a... You're sitting here with so much confidence. Without seeing all of the documents that Donald Trump is innocent, there is a presumption of guilt that a black man walks around the United States with, that I've been watching Donald Trump navigate this situation with the presumption of innocence that is never afforded.
I don't know about him, but I don't walk around the United States guilty as shit as a black man. I really don't. I could care less. At some point in time, I meet somebody who dislikes me because of my color, they can go pound sand for all I care. It's really that simple. I don't live my life like that. That's a ridiculous thought process, one. Two, when he says IQ test, at least how I interpreted it, is that this is a simple deduction, okay? Very simple deduction. How hard Trump has been chased over the last 10 years. If they haven't found anything, do you think they're going to find something at this point? Only because the Democrats had these same files for 4 years and they didn't do anything? Like, that's it. That's a simple deduction. That's how I take the IQ test comment.
Here's what I think. It's been going on for 10 years. If there was a shred of anything to know about Donald Trump, we would already know it. What do we know? We know. I'm answering your question.
Evidence is not the evidence of absence.
We know that Donald Trump knew Jeffrey Epstein, and we know that he excommunicated him from Mar-a-Lago and his life. We also know that after Epstein was convicted, that powerful Democrats continued to stay in touch with Jeffrey Epstein. This is not a story about Trump. It is a story about powerful men. Many of them are in the Democratic Party. We're going to find that out. You can't wash away the politics.
We got to hit pause on this conversation.
Republican versus Democrat.
That's because every Democrat goes on TV and accuses Trump of having done something
any of these files, by the way.
Sometimes I watch some of these clips and I just think to myself, like, they really think they're doing something. Like, they think that we believe them, because it's just, at some point in time, you gotta just be real. Like, even the chat, let's see, is throw them all in jail. Man, I'm tired of them. I'm tired of the bullshit. We need new leaders because the people who are leading now are evil. You make a good point, but I don't like Trump. I just don't hate him as much as the liberals. This Epstein story is crazy. Yeah, the Epstein stuff is crazy. And I mean, the plot thickens, right? So if you're curious about, I believe it's Stacey Plaskett, here's a video of her speaking.
I believe that Jeffrey Epstein had information, and I was going to get information to get at the truth. Having a friendship with him is not something that I would deem to have. And so I'm just looking forward.
So what was it, though? You don't deem that it was a friendship? I mean, what was it? Could you describe what it was?
I'm moving forward. And I think that that's what we as American people should do, is move forward. If individuals are not involved in illegal activity, extending his criminal enterprise or his financial enterprise or all of those things, I think that we need to look at what people are doing moving forward.
Wait, let me just better understand that. What is that point? Because at the time he was a known sex offender and it
Right.
had been detailed all the sexual abuse.
There are a lot
Exactly.
of people who have done a lot of crimes, and as a prosecutor, you get information from people where you can. I believe that Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah, just what does that even mean? What are we talking about? And to be honest, her ending point, where it's like, hey, unless you're contributing to the crimes he's committing, that doesn't necessarily make you a bad person for either talking to him or, even asking him to donate to your campaign. I'm not mad at that thought process. That's what people have been saying about Trump this whole time. That's why I wanted to make the video, because it's like, yo, like, now we're switching the tune. Well, just talking to him doesn't make you bad. It's like, that's exactly what Trump was doing. It's like Trump kicked him out of his club. So what are we talking about here? I'm kind of confused at where the Dems are going with this. But let's just keep going, because I found the email, which I think this was one of her aides that sent this. I don't think it was actually her. But here's the email that was sent. It says, oh, this is the secondary email. So the first email that was sent was this top portion. It says here, it says, good morning, Leslie. If you would share this invitation with Jeffrey, I'd be much appreciative. I guess that makes sense. I would be grateful for the support and the support of those that direct to assist me. I'll be in New York City the Thursday of the event through the weekend. Again, thanks, Stacy. So it actually was Stacy, but that was to, it doesn't say who was to. I'm curious if that's Leslie Wexner, which I don't think so, but I don't know exactly. But this email right here is to Jeffrey. It says, Jeffrey, your help is needed. We're trying to get Stacey Plackett elected to Congress. Sean Malone, current Senate president, is running against her in the Democratic primary in August. Sean is the one who came after you in the Senate hearing last week. He is nasty and needs to be defeated, and we would have a friend in Stacey. Since this is a federal election, only personal contributions up to $2,600 per person can be given. She needs to raise about $75K between now and August. Do you think any of your friends would give to her campaign? Wait a minute. She would be a friend? He is nasty and needs to be defeated, and we would have a friend in Stacey. Yeah, I think that's pretty damning. A friend in Stacey. Again, this is why you need to remove money out of politics. That is, to me, that's crazy. You're telling me, help me defeat this person so that way I can run and win. And if I win, you have a friend in me. So what does that mean? Does that mean you have access to me whenever you need it? Does that mean I help you get things that you want? Help you get out of trouble? I'm going to give you insider information. If I tell somebody, hey, I work here, and if you help me out in this endeavor on this left side, then whatever I do on this right hand side, you'll have access to. You'll have a friend, not access, right? Because I don't want to speak for Stacey, but how would you interpret that? I don't see any emails about Donald Trump talking to Epstein, telling him, hey, you have a friend. If anything, the emails with Jeffrey are talking about how they want to set him up to ruin him so he can't run in 2016. There's another part of this. So this is what she said on the Senate floor a couple hours ago, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it says 14 hours ago. So let's go ahead and watch this clip real quick.
And I got a text from Jeffrey Epstein, who at the time was my constituent, who was not public knowledge at that time that he was under federal investigation, and who was sharing information with me. Now, I heard recently.
What kind of information?
And I got a text.
I love how she says, oh, my constituent. He was convicted of being a pedophile and was registered as a sex offender in what, 2007? 2000, maybe 2005, as early as 2005. I don't know the exact date, but it was before 2013. And let's go back real quick, because we're gonna be what was that email dated? What time was that email dated? Let's see real quick. The email was dated 2018, July 12th, 2018. Interesting. And the second email was dated what? June 19th, 2014. I give her that you wouldn't have known he was federally indicted, but you would have already known he was convicted in Florida by that time, especially in 2018. He went to jail in what? 2019. He went to jail. What are you talking about? We knew about him before he even went to jail. Uh-oh. I don't know. But let's watch this. Let's watch Senor Hakeem defend this young lady.
We believe in transparency. We
Oh,
believe in accountability. We believe in due process.
Mm-hmm.
That's the opposite of what is happening on the floor today. And
Oh,
let
is
me
it?
be very clear about
Please
Stacey
do.
Plaskett. She's a woman of great intelligence and a woman of great integrity.
Okay.
And she deserves better than what she's receiving
Sure.
from House Republican extremists.
Oh,
She deserves
extremists.
the opportunity to be heard. She deserves due process.
We heard her, and she is getting due process. But we heard her, and we have the emails. I mean, what are we talking about here, Hakeem? I'm not sure where you're trying to what your point is.
She deserves the ability to make her case, not to be prosecuted by petty foggers, playing lawyer on the floor of the House of Representatives.
The way you guys said once other people were talking about Trump in the emails, and then you guys went ham about it like that. And then I hate saying that because then it makes me look like a Trump defender. But it's just like at some point we gotta call a spade, guys. Like I think both sides are lying to us, and this is the perfect flip flop for that. Right here's the perfect
Google
evidence
that if
of
you don't
flip-flop.
know what it means. We believe in
My God, I've been Googling so much, it's crazy. But let's see what Representative James Comer says.
Colleagues' coordination with Epstein. Another email shows Democrat fundraisers invited Epstein to an event or to meet privately with Hakeem Jeffries as part of their 2013 effort to win a majority. So Hakeem Jeffries' campaign solicited money from Jeffrey Epstein. That's what we found in the last document batch. The files underscore why former President Trump must appear for his deposition. We've subpoenaed him. To date, the Democrats have done nothing to help us secure his appearance. I support full transparency. The Oversight Committee will continue to work to get the truth to the American people and to get justice for the victims. That's our goal of this investigation. With that, I yield back.
Release the names. That's how you get justice. And just in case you don't believe that, I have the email pulled up right here. Because I was like, wait, Hakeem out of everybody is on this? And look at this right here, right? So this is Lisa Rosa, Rising Star. This was May 7th of 2013. It says, Dear Jeffrey, which I'm assuming is Jeffrey Epstein, we are thrilled to announce that we are working with Congressman Hakeem Jeffries, one of the rising stars in the New York congressional delegation, sometimes referred to as Brooklyn Barack. What? Okay. He is a staunch supporter of President Obama and a progressive voice for the people of New York City. Which I'm assuming that's New York Times. NYI, I don't know why that says. NY did a profile piece about his work on the the importance budget and Judiciary Committee in Washington. You can watch the video here or read the text below. Okay, I can't read today, yo. Guys, help me. Lord have mercy. It says Hakeem is committed to electing a Democratic majority in 2014 and is encouraging his friends to participate in the DCC and DSCC fundraising dinner with President Barack Obama this coming Monday night. Shoot us an email or give us a call. There's a number if you would like to get involved with the dinner or would like to get an opportunity to get to know Hakeem better. He is an impressive guy and who will be a progressive voice in New York politics for years to come. Interesting. So let's see. Hakeem Jeffries positions himself for a long career in Washington. So this is Hakeem Jeffries is only about 4 months into his freshman year in Congress, but he's already positioning himself for a long career in Washington. If you're looking to knock a message, you won't get very far. There's a hip hop song every day. I'm hustling, and I kind of feel that way down here in Washington, Jeffrey said in a positive manner, of course. What? And then I have this other video I wanted to play real quick of Hakeem being asked a couple questions.
in a bipartisan way.
Well, let me ask you about you, because the White House has been highlighting an email that I'm sure you've seen today that Jeffrey Epstein got in 2013. They say it shows you were soliciting money and dinner from an Epstein. The email was not sent from you. It was sent from a political consulting firm called Dynamic SRG that says, we are thrilled to announce we are working with Congressman Hakeem Jeffries. Shoot us an email or give us a call if you would like to get involved. What's your response? Do you recall that email being sent to Jeffrey Epstein from that team?
Yeah, of course, I have no recollection of the email. I've never had a conversation
with
you him, never met him, know nothing about him other than the extreme things that he's been convicted of doing. And that's why, I'm just strongly supportive of the effort, backing the survivors to make sure that everything can come out, whatever is in those Department of Justice files.
So you never got a donation from Jeffrey Epstein or anything like that?
Certainly not.
He answered the question, so I guess we got to believe him, no?